Hey, what's up, y'all? Mickey Campbell here. Welcome back to Freestyle Friday. As you know, today's show is dedicated to freestyle talk, light-hearted fun, and I've been telling some old wrestling stories lately. Looking forward to collaborating with some guys on this show. As I mentioned on last week's show, Ricky Regal and I have already talked about getting together and doing a segment or two and talking about some of the good old days as the Lightning Express, the House of Pain, and our childhood and trials and tribulations and fun and just kind of making light of a lot of things that we've been through and things that we've enjoyed and having a good time doing that. And I've talked to a couple of other guys that I shared a lot of good memories with. And a lot of times, when you look back on these things, some things kind of escape your memory, and other people can say things that trigger things and bring back some of the things of your past. So hopefully some of the guys from my wrestling days will be jumping on here and joining me with some of these shows. And we're going to talk about more than wrestling on this show too, but I'm kind of enjoying these shows, so hopefully you stick with me. Today's show, I'm going to tell you about the hardest thing I ever got hit with in wrestling, and it's going to kind of surprise you, I think, but it was pretty funny after it was all said and done. But long story short, during my time doing the Extreme Dream, and Ricky and I, we did a lot of things that we, in wrestling that were called street fights, or nowadays they're hardcore matches and have a lot of different things. But in street fights, which we called them back then, for what we were doing, it meant you could bring anything to the ring. There was no disqualification. There was no time limit. There was no reason for the match to be ended other than somebody got beat. So we basically would bring everything with us to the ring and just have fun with it. And so it was like 1998, somewhere around in there, and I was wrestling a guy in a singles match named Bulldog Reigns, and Bulldog was a bulldog. He was a big guy, very, very good wrestler. Hadn't seen or heard anything from him in years. So if you guys know or have heard anything about Bulldog and where he's at and what's going on with him, shout it out to me on the comments. I'd love to know. We had some good matches. We had some good times. But we were in the street fight, and I brought a grocery buggy to the ring with me, and it was full of everything. We had light bulbs, pie pans, baseball bats, 2x4s, chairs, trash can. I don't remember what all else, but just a ton of other stuff. And so Bulldog and I are wrestling each other, and we've been in the match for probably about 12 minutes. We'd hit each other with everything. We'd hit big moves on the floor. We'd been up into the bleachers. We'd hit each other with about every object in the cart. And I pulled out this particular object, and I drew back, and I crowned Bulldog over the head with it as hard as I could. I didn't pull anything, and there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you. But as soon as I hit Bulldog, his eyes crossed, and Bulldog looked at me. He said, "You MFer, I'll get you back for that." And we kept going, and we kept going, and we came back around to it a little bit later in the match, and Bulldog pulled that weapon up, and he hit me across the head with it. And I'm going to tell you guys, it about knocked me out. And you'll never believe what it was, but it was a 5-gallon water jug. And they don't make these things like they did in 1997, y'all. This thing right here gave the crack in the impact that I was expecting. I thought it would be a loud sound and a big payoff and kind of funny. Hit him with a water bottle, right? So I didn't test it before I took it to the ring. This thing turned out to be pretty thick plastic, and it didn't give at all. And when I hit Bulldog, it made a loud noise, and like I said, his eyes crossed, and I didn't understand. And when he hit me back with it, I got the message, right? I mean, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that wasn't a good choice for what we were doing. And so we worked our way back around to it, and I took that thing and I tossed it up into the cheap seats, and never to be seen or heard from again. So but I got knocked out by a water bottle. Made a good friend mad, but he obviously realized that I didn't realize that thing hurt that bad. And anyway, so anybody else ever got knocked out by a water bottle? Bet you can't top that one. Freestyle Friday, guys. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Anybody you'd like to see on the show, anybody you think be interested in collaborating with me, shoot me a message. Let's talk about it. I'd love to have some guys on the show. Love to connect with some guys. And with everything going on right now, we can do it through Zoom or whatever. We'll figure it out. But looking forward to have Ricky on the next couple of weeks. We're going to get together and work that out. And then one person in particular, I'll go ahead and tell you too, has a story of somebody pulled a gun on him. I'll just leave it like that. All right. You guys have a great weekend. God bless. Thanks again.